Hello everybody, this is Drago1 and I'm going to be taking a look at my Arkenstone OBK-SPE DecTalk 1010 speech synthesizer portable PC here. Very interesting case, and as you can see we have some volume sliders here. Most of them don't actually do anything. I got a floppy drive here and front-facing amplified speaker here. Front-facing headphone jack that I don't even know if that works. I'm gonna take a look inside it right here so you can see what is going on here. Okay, so up above here we have the very, very long, I think this is actually probably over a foot long ISA card here, and this is the DecTalk PC 1010, I guess. I'd have to check on the board itself, but I really don't want to drag it out of there. A lot of the stuff I haven't messed with in over 3 years, so I'm really just shooting this from memory. We also have a, if you can see it, I'm not sure, the card right here. That is the VGA card. And then below that we have a IDE controller card, 8-bit ISA IDE controller card that I ripped off of another machine. I would take it out to show you. I can actually open the case more so you can see, because right now we only have this door, which doesn't give us much access. It's just something you can really quick swap in and out the ISA cards like the DecTalk. I'll screw this back in here for a sec. It is a portable machine, so there's your handle. So here's the other side, nothing really to see here. Here's the back. This is the only port on the back of the DecTalk. This is just an 1/8 inch audio jack. This is the VGA card. Of course, we have our old DIN connector keyboard port there that I have a little adapter for because I don't have any keyboards like that anymore. Jacks, just RCA audio jacks for plugging in to hook up to the sound. Let me show you here. The DecTalk card plugs into the case, which has the front-facing speaker here. This plugs from the card here into the case somewhere back there. I don't know, it's a mess. And that enables the card to hook up to those RCA jacks. Volume sliders on the front here. I don't really want to touch them because I know they're in the right orientation. This thing gets loud, okay? Like, this speaker really belted out if you turn these things up all the way. Scared the crap out of me the first time this thing made any noise. The sound is only coming from the DecTalk PC right there. It doesn't come from anywhere else. I mean, it's not like there's a sound card in this or anything. This is just a very, very basic DOS PC. I don't know the specs on it at the moment, but I'm going to get to that in a bit. It doesn't really have too much of a BIOS to speak of, and its BIOS CMOS battery is dead. In here we're going to have a lot of the goodies that came with the machine. Like here, right here, we have the model number of the actual machine. Item Arkenstone OBK-SPE DecTalk 1010 speech synthesizer. Got this whole thing on eBay for $200 back in 2010, I believe. But it does give you a little port in here that you can store your crap if you're on the move. Like make a sandwich for yourself, throw it in there, and you're good to go. Gives a little bit more information. Model number is, as you can see, OBK-SPE. Manufacture date 1993. Then it gives the serial number, and it apparently came with an 80 megabyte hard disk, but the one in there right now is, I think, 10 megabytes. Not entirely sure, but it's some old crap. It might even not spin up anymore. We'll have to see. Now, you might notice this right here. I believe this is how we get to our next step. So let me unscrew this and we'll cut to the case being opened. Okay, so this is our beauty right here. course, we have these that open up, so you can get access to the... That doesn't do anything. The cards, but if you need to get further access inside, you're going to need to undo that. And this is where this comes down. So as you can see, power supply is over on this side. Got a whole bunch of ribbon cables here. The hard disk requires 2 actual data cables, and then of course the power as well. This floppy drive is crap. I don't know if it's actually any good. I think while we have it under the knife here, I'm going to replace it. The only downside is that the button on the front of it is really unique, and I'm not sure if it's going to let me do that. So here's a view of an empty CPU socket and a filled CPU socket with a heatsink there. And you're probably wondering, okay, so this thing can take 2 CPUs, and that's something I haven't really seen before. I don't know why I don't remember this from when I was working on it before, but apparently this thing can, and I actually have a CPU that can fit that socket, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. There's not really a reason to give something old like this 2 processors, and I don't even know if that is possible. This is another view into the machine. You can see some of the RAM ports there, and as well as you're seeing half of the DecTalk card there. This is a little better view of the card right here. You can see how long it is. Like I said, I won't be taking it out to show you right now, but it's pretty big. I have pictures of it on another video, but I don't think they really do it justice. It's just so big. And that's where it connects to the rest of the case. And over here you're going to see a whole bunch of cabling back there. This is the power supply. As you can see, this was glued to make sure all the cables stay nice and neat, or as neat as possible. But you can see there's a lot of cable management that went into this setup here. Most of the front-facing stuff goes through that hole. So as we currently stand, we have a little bit of expandability we can do with this thing if we really wanted to. There's 4 extra RAM slots and an extra CPU socket that I might be messing around with later. As it currently stands, I don't know too much about this system. If I'm able to dig up a spec sheet for it, or technical information, I will leave a link for that in the description. Until then, I will have to investigate the specs by looking at the BIOS. As you can see, this doesn't have a CD drive, and it has a faulty floppy disk drive, so getting any data onto it has been very troublesome. I actually had to install MS-DOS using a different motherboard. Let's go ahead and close this thing back up. Very easy. Screw it back in here. I really do like the design of the case. It makes for a really good portable system that you can just, bring over to your friends and say, oh, hey, look at this thing, look at this, check out my rig, and you can open it up and say, oh, look at this crazy ass text-to-speech card I got in there. So I'm gonna dump the rest of the crap back into the little door here, and then we'll get it started up. Alright, let's go ahead and start it up. I do apologize for the line on the side there that is cut off. That is my capture device, which is kind of crappy, but you can get the basics of what is actually going on here. It doesn't really impede what's going on, so. There you have the specs. Not all of them are correct. As you can see, hard disk C type, none. Yeah. we're tarting MS-DOS. And here is the auto-exe bat running for the DecTalk, which is a bunch of stuff that runs whether or not you have it in the system or not, so it's sort of like a shotgun blanket of all drivers that could possibly be loaded to make sure that your DecTalk device works with it. If you have my Ultimate DecTalk pack from the last video, you will have some of this stuff. Oh, you'll have all
DecTalk
this.
PC version 4.1c is running.
Okay, so that's what happens when it is actually working. So the driver's loaded from the auto. Let's take a look at that actually. Under the folder, you'll have OBK-SPE DecTalk 1010 DOS driver and DT demo. In there, you'll have a DT.bat, which we'll go into in a second. Okay, so what it does is it loads in a bunch of different drivers. I don't know if it needs all of them, because some of them are for the COM port versions of DecTalk, not the ISA cards, but the ones that ran on serial ports and there were external devices. This is not one of those, but apparently this has all the drivers for those. So if you have a DOS machine and you want to get that stuff running, I'll have the link in the description for the Ultimate DecTalk pack. Once again, just take a look in the folder OBK-SPE DecTalk 1010 DOS driver and DT demo. And in there you can copy those files into their own directory on your DOS machine and then add the DT bat to your auto-exe.bat so that it loads all the drivers at startup, or you can just run DT bat whenever to load up the drivers, but right now all the drivers are loaded and we can run the demo.
If you would like the command spoken, press enter. If you would like the commands not to be spoken, press the spacebar.
Okay, so that's a very important decision, because if you choose them to be spoken, DecTalk will speak everything. But since this is a demo, we'll go ahead and let it speak.
For list of commands, type question mark.
So this is the DT demo. As you can see, it can do a lot of things. It can read back text strings, you can turn the volume up and down, and a lot of other things, but the most important thing we have here is the last option, which is to copy a file to the DecTalk. So that means that you previously had a text string that you wrote up in, say, MS-DOS editor like I did, or you transferred it over since you're working on it on another machine. So here, let's do a little example here. Okay, and so let's go ahead and load up Hey Jude.
J-U-D-E space. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to turn to your heart, and you can start to make it better.
Okay, so I don't have a full library of different songs, only the ones that I wrote up myself into this code here. So the hardware DecTalk sounds a lot better than the software DT demo that was in the last video, in my opinion. It has just much better vibrato and fullness, and I can't really describe it, but it's just a lot better than that. So that's why I got this whole thing, but the problem is that it's really, really hard to work with, because if you actually want to write songs on this, it's pretty hard. So let's break out of this and take a look at that file. Okay, so this is literally how I wrote it in when I made it. I was doing a lot of these calculations on another computer and stuff, but for the most part, this was all written in MS-DOS edit. So if I made a mistake, I wouldn't be able to know until I exited out of this, went back to DT demo,
If you would like the command spoken,
and then There's one in here called Lies.
S.D.E.C. space. Tender lies. Keep telling me tender lies. Keep feeding me bedroom lies and your tender lies.
So there you have the Tender Lies. That I wrote the entire Tender Lies using MS-DOS edit, and it was not fun. Like, I'm not bragging about that. It's not fun. If you want to try and do that, don't do it, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Do it on another computer, use the DT demo, get it right, and then import it onto this computer and load it when you know it's right. Because I was literally pulling my hair out to make this. It's very frustrating. I mean, you have to have a lot of patience. I mean, maybe you got more patience than me. I don't know. But if you get one of these hardware modules, which you probably won't, considering their extremely high price on eBay right now, you might want to even just stick with the software, man, because I haven't wanted to touch this for a long time because it's just icky. It just reminds me of icky things that happened. So let's get some more help. We can speak a canned message.
Hello, I'm DecTalk, the state of the art in text-to-speech synthesis.
Flush speech, I guess that clears everything out. You can pause speaking and you can continue it. Run a typing demonstration.
Setting rate to 450 words per minute. No.
Oh shit. I pressed print screen.
No.
And it survived.
7, 4, 5, 6. No, 8. No, 8. Oh, drop. Oh, shoot. Oh, circumflex. Carrot.
Oh, that's a carrot.
Oh, left. Oh, elixir. Oh, tilde. Space. If you would like the command spoken, press enter. If you would like the command not to be spoken, press the spacebar.
I have heard that so many times, it's not even funny. Well, there's the problem
Space.
here.
If you would like the command spoken, press enter.
So
if you would like the command.
Okay, so basically this computer just runs DT demo. So the problem I ran into is I couldn't get it to boot off its original hard disk. It just wouldn't start up, and I had to put in another hard disk, and then I had to manually install MS-DOS, and then I had to dump the files that I got off of its original hard disk that wouldn't boot, save them, salvage them, and now they're in the Ultimate DecTalk pack. But there was also an installation of Windows 3.1 on that hard disk that I can't get back because that hard disk doesn't even work anymore. I might be able to hook it up to another computer and figure it out later, but that's going to be in another video. Whether I can get this machine to boot up on Windows 3.1 and run the included software in Windows, which apparently was able to read text from scanned books, which is pretty interesting. So that's pretty much all there is to do. I could go through each one of these items. Pause speaking, flush speech, continue speaking. So most of this stuff doesn't do much. The most important features are copy file to DecTalk, enter a text string, turn the volume up and down. That's pretty much all it is. It just loads in files and sends them to the DecTalk, and they get played back. That's basically all it is. Just sort of a means to an end. It doesn't do anything special. We can take a look at the DecTalk directory. And in there you're going to have a lot of files that I was working on for other projects. Well, I think I crashed my system. Yep. Alright, so that's basically all there is to overviewing the software portion of the Arkenstone DecTalk OBK-SPE 1010, because it's just running MS-DOS 6, you can see, and it runs DT demo. Very basic. All it does, one purpose. Oh, and MS-DOS edit, which is very useful. At the same time, very frustrating. So, I will see all you smokers in another video. Have a nice day, and have fun making DecTalk.